Hello everyone. Today I'm going to read a book called The Greater. Introduction. Writing this book was not something I organized, pursued, rather it pursued me. After it was suggested that I consider writing this story, I began the fact considering the life of Brandon Bosworth. The more I uncover, the more I compelled to write. After I met with the Bosworth family, and after much prayers, it became clear to them that I was the right person to pen the book. By this time, it had also become crystal clear to me that an American had to hear this story. Opening my laptop, I began writing about the young man who I never met, but who would soon greatly impact my life. 5 months later, and after thousands of miles of travel, I am even more convinced that his story is a must read. Brandon's life was not really good. There are still more great young people left in the world. He was a a hawk, a physical specimen, but housed with massive frame of gentle and tender heart. His humble stood in stark contrast of his passion on the gridiron. He could just as easily drive a defensive lineman into a turf. He could open the door for a lady or bend down to pick up a child. In some way, the story of Brandon's life is an actual of hope in a time when it seems of rural days. With all that the bad in the world and mindset considered reports corrupted in both college and professional athletes. Brandon's story is a breath of fresh Ozark Mountains. I trust will breathe deep as you read, which includes the Big Sports Academy and high school has planned for the end of the year. Being the athletic director, head coach football of Harrison High School, Ties would naturally have huge parts of academy, but plenty of times in his hands at the moment he flashes forward to gather, wondering how he might evolve in his favorite former football player in the Festivals. Brandon Bosworth's name and face has been stable in Arkansas sports headlines for the past year, having won national and acclaim. His storybook rises from small town walk on to All American to recent selection in the NFL draft has made him statewide hero. The former Harrison High Goblin star has gladly agreed to come back and help his old coach with upcoming players. Now it's just a question of how. Tommy can help but smile as he thinks of Brendan as two have grown close over the years. Every coach looks for a shining example towards which he can point his players, inspire them with greatness on and off the field. For Ty's the example of Brendan. Itching his way forward, Harrison and home, the coaches remind himself that patience is better. After sometimes seemingly endless columns of the car slowly makes its way around the curve which connected the sourceman of the small mountain community. Rounding that bend, Tice noticed a roadside park on the right, piercing into the distance up ahead. He finally realized that what has caused the long delay. There's been a wreck, a very bad one. By the time the wreck has arrived, the scene along with the Arkansas State Police has directed traffic to move along the line of the cars. The crash, he is struck by the devastating scene. Though he, like most, has exposed the footage of similar accidents on television, nothing on to prepare him to shock to being such tragedy. And a companion, Augustine Philip, the sweats over the high school football coach. I will read more, but it's a chapter book. But I hope y'all read it because it's a good book about a famous football player that was a walk-on in college And thank you. Have a great day.